were the pioneers of avant-garde art. It is started somewhere in the 1940s and 1950s, almost 100 years after the avant-garde term was originated in the Western world. There was a show in 1949, first time put up in the Artist Center in Bombay. That show was by F.N. Suja, and in that show, the works of prostitutes and female nudes were first time shown in Bombay in a completely new language, which was at least not known in India. Of course, before that, the first show of Progressive Artist Group, which was put up in 1947 again in Artist Center, that also was a language which was not known to us, and they worked in a pre-modern style painting, the prevailing art style at the global stage. Now, first time that nude paintings which were exhibited in the work, that was too much critical, and even for the elite class it was confusing. And the second day itself, police came there and they stopped that show. That show was completely stopped. That is when we can say that's the origin of avant-garde art, at least in Bombay. Of course, there were artists in Delhi, Shilpi Chakra and other thing, I think V.C. Sanyal and other people. They may be working parallelly with this kind of visual vocabulary. Again, there were I think Tagore's and Calcutta group in Calcutta who were working in the similar kind of vocabulary, but I am citing the examples from Bombay. Again, somewhere in the 1954 or something like that, there was a show of exhibition of Akbar Padamsee in which he displayed the one work, Lovers. So that Lovers work was very simple. It was not even nude, but you know, the man was standing with just a hand on the wrist of his lover. So that show, police not only stopped it, but police filed a complaint against Akbar Padamsee. He fought that battle for 10 years in the court and finally he won it. That's the origin of, we can call it, that's the origin of avant-garde art. If at all we want to apply the term in Indian context. Then we saw 50s and 60s where the almost abstract art was almost a prevailing brand in India. Then came the 70s, 80s we saw again the rebirth of photorealism and so many other experiments. Installation art started in India. I think at many places it is written that this is the pioneer of installation art in India. That is the pioneer of Indian installation. At majority of places I read that Abhiman Sundaram is the pioneer of installation art in India. That can be said to be the avant-garde. This trends and avant-garde art, as I said, now what is happening in the West, the onslaught of media and internet and so many other tools, it was very difficult. What happens in the Paris or what happened in the Tokyo, we used to get it after 5-10 years here in India. But now, what is done in Paris, by the afternoon it is uploaded on the net and we can see it in the same day in our studios. Now you can see Akbar Padamsee and Riaz Kumu. Akbar Padamsee's art practice or number of years, if you see in the field, that is not even the age of the artist. Second thing, the work was Akbar Padamsee's highly abstract work of his Metascape series. And the Riaz Kumu's work was, the same, which he does typically in a photorealistic way, depending on the photographic reference. Then, one work which is highly spiritual, Metascape, and the other work which is the highly finished work of which message that which was showing that the Islamic tyranny in the Islamic world, the face with the festering wound. Now, what message? How can you read this kind of display? Well, the smart curator, like say Johnny sitting at the end, smart curator like Johnny can explain this kind of display in the following words. Now, as this is displayed in such a way that I want to buy this kind of display, I want to take a social, political and moral edge out of these individual works, because now viewers are no longer able to see the meaning in the artworks because they are too consumed by the price tag itself. And the price tag itself has now, it is not the, avant-garde is not the conscience of the elite, but the price tag itself has become the elite. Well, this is the culmination of this avant-garde kind of process in the display. With this kind of, I hand over to David again.
Thank you. Following this rather polemical approach to the idea of defining the idea of avant-garde, it might be very useful to look at some images that you find in your region in Bangalore, and so please.
Following up on what Rajendra just said, I think I'd like to start with this statement that I read in an exhibition recently. That is, art which does not fit into historical trends or structures is more likely to speak for itself. And I think what we all require and what we are all looking for nowadays is art that speaks for itself and doesn't necessarily have to follow a certain pattern or a certain very strict structure. So perhaps, you know, the use of the word avant-garde perhaps has its own history and it's difficult to use it, but new languages is what we need. So to give a little background to what I'm showing you, I studied at the Chitrakala Parishad in Bangalore, which is one of the foremost art institutions there. It was set up only in the late 70s, but it became popular 80s and 90s. It has produced quite a number of artists who are now really producing a lot of work. And the second thing I'd like to say is, because I'm sort of close to my college days still, we do have a system here in India which sort of keeps us away from the market, from the gallery world when we are within an institution. We are so concentrated on trying to learn a technique, on trying to develop skill, that sometimes we miss out on learning about the larger world of art. So in that sense, I'd like to share today a few spaces in Bangalore that have come up and that allow young artists who come out of colleges to experiment with their work in spaces that are not formal galleries, but also allow for a kind of critical audience to come in and go. These are spaces that do not necessarily sell work. And young artists, I think, who come out of college are not always interested only in selling. They need to develop a style first. They need to become strong in what they're trying to say. So spaces like these are giving young artists the chance to do just this, to experiment with languages before they can actually enter the larger arena of art. So since I arrived today, I'm sorry that the presentation is a little sketchy, but I hope that you will raise any questions that you require. On the kind of work that others in the younger generation are doing. She works with charcoal shards pasted on paper molds. And this, of course, was in relation to the market crash. This is an artist called Krishnaraj Chonat, and he is also from Chitrakala Parishad. He has been working very much with performance, video, as well as installation art. And in this, he works a lot also thinking about the way Bangalore has changed immensely over the last 5 or 10 years as a city. and his idea was to sort of satirically comment on the gated communities, these wonderful villas that they create that become like a repetition of each other. So he set it up actually in a space which has mirrors. Now here I actually come to the fact that he shows with a gallery called Gallery Ski. It's one of the foremost galleries in Bangalore, and they really encourage young artists who work with experimental mediums and with sort of building up of new languages to deal with these contemporary experiences. So this is Krishna Raj Chonat. This is by an artist called Srinivas Prasad. He is also from the sculpture department at Chitrakala Parishad and is currently quite prolific in his work. He lives in fact in a rural place called Shimoga. He comes to Bangalore once in a while whenever he shows his work. So he is an artist who has worked a lot with the cultural idea of ritual, death and death ceremonies. So in this work actually he covers his entire cart and all these vessels with black blanket material that is actually used by the shepherds in his native place. And he talks about attachments with this installation, which was very interestingly set up at Gallery Ski again. This is an artist who's A. Bala. I think many of you here will know him because he shows with Talwar Gallery. And he is also one of the prominent artists, younger generation artists in Bangalore, who works with these ideas of illusions with material. This is an artist called Ravi Kashi. He also works with paper pulp, and he studied initially at Kawa, Mysore. He's also associated with Ken School, another school in Bangalore. This is also part of his work. He does a lot of photography as well. This is not a very good slide, but this is an artist whose name is Vivek Vilasani, and he does extremely political work. And in fact, he has been one of the forerunners in a particular kind of photographic language that is also developing now in a city like Bangalore. Here I come to a space called Jaga. This is a very wonderfully experimental place. The entire structure itself is a temporary one. It's made up entirely of pallet shelf racking material, which means that it can be installed and deinstalled in any empty plot. So this is a very novel initiative, and this particular space is open for young artists to come and use for no cost at all, because it's just a simple space. They hold workshops, they have a lot of different sorts of work, they have foreign artists coming in and working with young artists in Bangalore.